Hi, this is Erica Jones, and this is my video blog on professional counseling skills. I just want to apologize for anyone who hears this for my voice. I've been feeling pretty sick the last few days, so I apologize for that. I loved the reading from this week, and I especially liked watching the videos of these counseling sessions. The first question, are the sessions you watch similar to what you imagined a counseling session to be? Why or why not? I would say yes in general, because they actually remind me of my counseling sessions with my counselor. I've been seeing a counselor for I guess about 3 years off and on, not on a regular basis. Obviously, when I first started seeing her, it was much more regular. Now I check in once in a while. But there were a lot of pauses in order to give the client time to say all that he or she really, needs to and wants to. The counselors were actively listening. You could tell that they were focused on the person in front of them. I think the only thing different for me in watching those is there was a little bit of a lack of emotion from the counselors in these 3 videos that we watched. I connected with my counselor personally because she was just very kind of warm and kind and pleasant, and I got a very authentic feel from her very quickly. I did not get a sense for the personalities of these 3 counselors at all. Skills and characteristics that I noticed, really all of the characteristics that we read about this week. There was active listening, there was paraphrasing, so they were repeating what the client said to make sure that they understood, which again shows the client that they are really listening. They asked both closed and open-ended questions, and they also summarized some of what the client said and repeated it back. Some of the differences and similarities that I noticed: the first 2 counselors that we listened to seemed less likely to share what they thought about the problem. They really seemed to focus on repeating what the client said or was stating, maybe sometimes in different ways than the client said them. Even repeating what they thought the client had stated were things that they could change, things that they could do differently. The third counselor, I felt, seemed a little more engaged. He didn't leave quite as much time in between answers for silence, and I saw a little bit more of his personality. All in all, I have to say all 3 counselors seemed very low energy and very, very serious. I don't think any of them smiled once, and I could be wrong, but I don't think there's anything wrong with at least smiling a little bit, nodding and letting the other person, the client, know that you're normal too, and that you can show a little bit of emotion. Some of the questions I have. So I work with teenage girls right now. In my professional work, I mentor teenage girls, and I won't get into that too much. But obviously, I have a lot more flexibility in the work that I do right now because I'm not doing it in a professional setting. So I can cry with them if I want. I can pray with them openly. I can't follow up with them, which is something that I could do as a professional counselor, obviously, if that client wanted to. I think my questions then are, how do you, I think we're going to learn about this a little bit later, but how do you control emotions in that setting? Part of the reason I want to get into this work is because I have a heart for people. And I just don't know, if I heard something that was really heartbreaking, if I could keep myself in check and together, but not to show emotion at all, I think would be very difficult for me. And then secondly, knowing that there are times to give advice. How do you give that advice without seeming like it's the right answer or the only answer? Helping steer goals and being somewhat directive. It seems like it's a delicate balance. So those would be my questions.